All right, I'm live on my IG. I appreciate everybody joining me on IG, man. VJs on Sports Like Conduct on the Vesting Voice of Next page, and everybody here on my YouTube channel, on YouTube on the Vesting Sports. So we're going live. I'm going quick. I got a great show for you guys. It's late, man. I'm on some late shit. It's 2 a.m. in LA. So I was prepping for the show. I worked today. Now I'm home doing my show out of the home vanilla bat cave. So I got the Justice League mug with the little sippy sip in it. Little shit talking juice. But come on, we're going live right now, Spreaker.com and iHeartRadio. I thank everybody. We talking NFL, we talking a little NBA, and we're even going to talk some college basketball conference tournaments that are going on right now, and some bets, man. Let's get back into our odds and our money lines and betting on basketball. I want to bet on baseball this year. I really do. I want to wager, a little bit of money on baseball games and learn how to wager. Football, I got on lock. Basketball, I'm like 65% right now. I want to learn baseball. I want to learn hockey. Fighting is kind of hard because they hit the money line. You got pretty much put it on the underdog unless you're a big Super Baller and you could put $1 million on the winner. You know what I'm saying? Some shit like that. But anyway, let's go, man. Live. Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio. Live in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Live from Hollywood, California, VJ Vernon Husky, the Big Vanilla Funnies, Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
What up, man? Y'all already know what it is, man. VJ's on Sportsmanlike Conduct. I'm your host, VJ Vernon Husky, a.k.a. VJ, right? That's because he always thinks he is, a.k.a. the Big Vanilla Shaq, the Blue-Eyed Barkley, the Creamy Kobe, VA's Top Talk Boy, Mr. Never Shut Up, the Big Vanilla Color Card, because sometimes in sports, there is the color card that needs to be played, and when the color card does need to be played, I am your Big Vanilla Vegas dealer, and officially, as you guys all know, Mr. 8515. This is what I do, man. I pick sports. I talk sports. I love it. No big intro for tonight, man. I want to thank you, everybody that is listening to all of my platforms right now. If you listen to me on Spreaker.com live, I appreciate you. iHeartRadio live, I appreciate you. Anybody that's on my YouTube channel right now, shout out, salute, thank you to you. And anybody that is on my my IG right now live, man, I appreciate you guys too, man. So let's get right into it. We're going to talk some NFL. I want to talk the draft. Mock drafts are fun, but I don't think mock drafts hold water until after free agency. I don't think that you can really decipher too much until you get through free agency. Because if there's a team that's in need of something in the top 10, top 11, top 12, but there is a bona fide veteran or guy who has proven himself, a proven guy as a free agent, do you go for the rookie and the unknown, or do you go for what you know? And you hope he doesn't turn into Mike Wallace leaving Pittsburgh, signing with the Dolphins, $52 million guaranteed, $67 million, and did absolutely zero in Miami. He got outplayed by Kenny Stills. He got outplayed by Kenny Stills in Miami. Or are you T.O.? Do you, everybody know you got the talent, but do you then go to a franchise that's a playmaker away? Got a solid defense, got a great quarterback, going to be a Hall of Famer one day, got one of the best defensive minds, Jim Johnson, and Lane Kiffin was in Tampa, but Jim Johnson and Philly, all those years that defense, you get Javon Curse to come in, you have Brian Dawkins. You know what I'm saying? You got Hugh Douglas, you got some stars, some veterans, some real tough, solid NFL all-around football players. And you sprinkle in a little 81. You sprinkle in a little 81 Vino. Y'all make sure y'all go check my man T.O. out on Twitter. Quick sidebar about T.O. I called his son's state championship game for Fox Sports West Prep Zone last year. Someplace for Loyola, which is an inner city school. It has been converted to a Christian academy, but it is smack dead right outside Chinatown in LA in the hood. Okay. But it's a team that had won a championship or been in a championship game in 20, 30 something years. It had been a long time. And they got there against San Gorgino last year, 2 years ago in 2019. I called the game. I'm up in the booth. I look down. I tap my play-by-play guy. I go, there goes T.O. He was on the sideline, black sweatsuit, shades on that night, right? and he's watching his. We're like, what the hell is he doing here? It's a state championship, but I think it's Division 3 or 4. It's not, it's not modern day and John Bosco. You know what I'm saying? It's not Corona. It's not Thousand Oaks Christian Academy up at Thousand Oaks and Westlake up in and the Northern Valley past Calabasas out here in suburban Los Angeles. It's not those schools. So what the hell is T.O. doing here? We look down the roster. We're looking. We're on our phones. We're going through it online, and we find it. The running back is his son. And his son, and T.O. lives out here in L.A., and I guess baby mama live out here in L.A., and son was a sophomore or junior running back for the football team. But do you sprinkle in a little T.O. and you're feeling you get to the Super Bowl? They didn't win it, but they got there. He had an 8-catch game, 130-something, 140-something yards. Didn't get into the end zone, but everybody can't score every time, every game. So I think that when you look at mock drafts, it's fun to play with, but how much can you really depend on it? Because we haven't gone through free agency. So what I did tonight is I picked some teams in the league that I think intrigue me when it comes to the draft. Let's get real. Some teams can't draft. Some GMs can't draft. Some GMs don't know what they're doing. Trust me, Detroit will blow their pick. They're Detroit, right? Detroit will blow their pick. Out of Jacksonville might blow their pick. It's Trevor Lawrence, but we never know, right, guys? We never know. Nobody thought Baker Mayfield was the number 1 overall pick. At the start of his last year, Oklahoma, nobody in their right mind thought he was a first-round draft pick. He became number 1 overall. We thought Jamarcus Russell was going to change the NFL. Wrong. Henson left Michigan and gave Tom Brady the starting job in Michigan, couldn't hit a curveball for $25 million for George Steinbrenner. Comes back to the Cowboys, this savior. Nah, they were calling him the number 1 overall pick. They thought if he stayed in Michigan, he was going to be the number 1 pick. I went through a list last week of quarterbacks that were former number 1 overall picks in the last 10 years. They either not in the league or they're not with the same team anymore. Cam Newton, Jameis Winston. I don't even have the list in front of me. I'm going off the dome right now. Cam Newton, Jameis Winston, Matthew Stafford, Andrew Luck, all number 1 quarterbacks. Andrew Luck's retired. He's out of the league. Matthew Stafford's in L.A. Cam Newton's a free agent, probably looking for his 3rd team. Jameis Winston. There was another one. Excuse me. Jameis Winston. They don't even know if he's going to start. They are like legitimately thinking Taysom Hill is a starting quarterback to like slight Jameson and not start Jameson, who was a number 1 overall pick, who won a national championship game. Not just won a national championship game, drove his team down the field in the championship game to win it. Deshaun Watson did the same thing. Drove his team down against the great vaunted Nick Saban and Nick Saban's defense and those defensive linemen and those linebackers and those corners and those safeties that can hit and cover and play sideline to sideline. Could get to hash like this. And in college, the hashes are wider. It's impressive when safeties can get hash to hash in college. Hashes are wider. It's impressive when a kid can kick long field goals in high school. Goalposts used to be longer. Then when you get to college, they slide in, you get info, slide in again. Now let's see if you can kick. But when you look at mock drafts and you look at what teams would want, quarterbacks, I think everybody think are going to go aplenty. I don't think it's going to go that way. I'm going to be honest. I don't think it's going to go that way. I saw a mock draft the other day where Todd McShay had top 3 picks were quarterbacks because a lot of people expect Miami to trade out of 3 and fall back. Now, if it's with the Falcons, if it's with the Panthers, Broncos, those are fine because Falcons is 4, Panthers is 8, Broncos is 9. So if they do decide to trade out and they fall back to 8 or 9, they probably are confident that they're going to take the guy or get the guy that they think. If you're looking for Sewell, he's going to be gone. The tackle from Oregon, who's the only sophomore to ever win the Outland Award, which is for the best offensive lineman in football, in college football that year. He won as a sophomore. Only guy to ever do that. Decided not to play last year because of COVID. Decided he was going to relax and he was going to just train and get ready for the draft because of COVID. He's not lasting to 8 or 9. So if the Dolphins decide to do that, then we know right then and there that Sewell was never going to be their guy. He's not their guy. They're sliding back. He's not going to fall. You got Cincinnati. You got Philly. You got the Niners. I know people want the Niners to take a quarterback, but I don't see why would you give up on Jimmy Garoppolo this early. Now, do I think Jimmy Garoppolo is the answer? I'm not sure. I don't know. He did get to a Super Bowl with you, honestly, but he stunk up the 4th quarter. and he stunk up the fourth quarter, and it allowed the Chiefs to kind of slide into a Super Bowl win. Let's just call it what it is. If I made this comment after the past Super Bowl with Tampa and Kansas City, I mean, if Jimmy Garoppolo didn't go 4 for 11 for 60-something yards in the fourth quarter of that Super Bowl, Andy Reid's probably 0-2 with the Chiefs, and Pat Mahomes is 0-2 as a Super Bowl playing quarterback. Just, it's a lot of aspects that work into football, work into the game, that a lot of powers and movement, a lot of moving pieces. So when I look at the quarterback position, I don't think it's going to be quarterbacks aplenty, because even though you do need them, I think that you've made, like the Bears, the Panthers, the Broncos, you've made major mistakes on quarterbacks. Right now, I might be looking at Alex Smith if I'm one of those teams. Give me something that I know and let him be a bridge to the quarterback we're looking at maybe next year. You got Hal coming out of North Carolina next year. He's going to be great. Hal's going to be really, really good. And if you can hold off for another, you got DJ Uiagalelei from John Bosco out here in Bellflower, California. I've called his high school games, his junior and the senior year. He'll be done in Clemson. Bryce Young, modern day, from Santa Ana, California out here. Call some of his high school games. He'll be available in the league. They're both 5-star recruits. People think they are first-round draft picks. You don't have to go get your quarterback this year. I mean, the other night I did a show and I talked about sticking with your guy. You got to piece other things around. For a quarterback to be successful, when Bill Parcells was the president of operations for the Dolphins, I was super excited because Bill Parcells is nothing but successful in the NFL as a coach, or as an NFL as a person, or anything in the NFL. Bill Parcells is like he's one of the GOATs. I think there's several GOATs coaches in the NFL. I don't think there's one guy. I think there's several, because football is 53 men, and it's hard to win. That's why the NFL, the Super Bowl, national championship, high school championships, they're the hardest to win in football. There's more kids, there's more talent, there's more teams. It's physical, it's draining, it's mentally draining, it's physically draining. It just wears on you. That's why, think about it. Parents are pushing the age back from when their kid starts to play football, right? There's these leagues you have out there now where you have these flag leagues for kids. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if I'm letting my 6-year-old, my 7-year-old son play contact football from the information that we now have learned and gathered and gained. You can go get it now. I might let him play, but if I didn't want to, I could feel comfortable not letting him play contact so early, putting him in a flag league, getting the fundamentals down, get your speed, your hand placement, your hand movement, your hand work, get your body, grow as a little kid, work on your footwork, the fundamentals of the game before you put pads on. I'm not for or against it. If I had to put pads on my kid, then I would. And if I didn't feel like he was ready for pads, I put him in a flag league. So even the age is getting pushed back. That kids are coming into the sport and playing. So there's so many moving parts and moving pieces with the team. You don't have to go get that quarterback. I'm looking at the list. Rashawn Slater, who is a All-American tackle out of Northwestern. He's smart. He plays in rugged weather. He plays rugged competition. He's got to play Michigan, Penn State, Michigan State. Now, this past year was an anomaly, guys, because it was COVID. But he's got to play Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Michigan State, Illinois, which is a tough. They're always, it's Big Ten. It's tough football. It always has been. You go up to Minnesota on a Saturday night. Minnesota maybe 5-2, 5-3, but you better buckle your chin strap. You better strap on them shoulder pads, and I hope you had your Wheaties, a power bar, and a Red Bull before you got here. This is a young man's game today. You got to strap up to come play this game. But you have a tackle like that I'm looking up the list, and I'm like, okay, a few guys got him high, but why wouldn't you take a guy that is smart, is going to learn the playbook? He'd started 3-year starter in college, so he's durable. 2.5 years, so he's durable. Can run block, can pass block. Why wouldn't you? This quarterback thing in this draft. So a few teams. So let's get right to it. A few teams I'm looking at. Team number one. And it's a team that I think that a lot of people aren't talking about because, and I'm not going to say, because people don't know. No, I know people know. I just think sometimes things go by us because there's so much information. There's so many sports talk radio shows. There's so many sports talk TV shows. There's so many debate shows. There's so many columnists on TV. There's so much. You watch it all, you hear it all, and it starts to cloud your shit. Dan Patrick once told me, never cut your list down to like 2 or 3 guys that you watch and listen to on a daily. If this is your life, if this is your mode, if you do sports talk, I don't feel like I do sports talk. I feel like this is what God made me. God made me to do this. That's how much I love this shit. That's how good I think that I am and how much better I know I can be. I'm not at my top yet. I'm not there yet. When I get there, it's a wrap. That's my confidence. But you cut down what you're listening to, because if you listen to too much, it starts psychologically. This is psychology. It starts to play in your mind, and it will start to change your opinion. I don't let shit. Rob Parker once told me, stick to your guns, VJ. Some of your takes are hard, honestly. And some networks might look at you and go, oh, God, he's so talented. He freelances. He's already been in the industry. He's been on big shows and big networks. And like, we can use this guy, but oh God, he said that one thing. All right, well, fuck it. If that's how soft y'all gonna be, no problem. I'll build Vesson and I'll go do my thing. And some network will see me one day and be like, okay, cool. Hey, VJ, we pay you this. Could you not say that word? I don't think one word would make me go, nah, I don't want that contract, bro. If I can't say this one word, but for a network to not take you because you said that one, I mean, I get it. Racial slurs. Okay, fine. I get it. I don't say those anyway. So I'm not worried about that. So I ain't going to get caught up in that, especially on live air. Come on. But cut down what you guys are listening to. That's advice that was given to me, and I give that to people, and I stick to my guns. I only watch and listen to a few people. So when I'm watching these drafts, these mock drafts, the Jaguars, they're pick number one. I don't hear a lot of people talk. It's like, well, Trevor Lawrence is number one. We know that. And then they go on to Zach Wilson and Justin Fields and all these other teams. And it's like, whoa, the Jaguars have 2 first-round draft picks. They're bringing in Mr. Urban Liar. Yes, I call him Urban Liar because the man lies. All he does is lie. Like, that's all he's done all the way back to when he coached high school, when he coached Division II, Utah. Don't get me started on Florida. Just put on the Aaron Hernandez documentary. Put on any Hernandez. And which quick sidebar is it's mind-blowing television, guys. We all know the story, but FX has something right now. Netflix has a documentary on it right now. HBO Max has a documentary. Like, everybody's done their little piece, and you get these different stories from different people. Wow. And Florida's mixed all up in that. You knew about that shit. You use Tim Tebow to kind of just gloss over what was going. Come on, Percy Harvin, Nelson, the safety, the Pouncey twins. Yeah, that team was off the chain. It wasn't just Aaron. Aaron was the one that just got a little too deep and got caught. They got a little too deep and got caught. And Lord rest his soul, Odin Lloyd, and the 2 gentlemen apparently in the BMW the night after the club in Boston. So don't want to make too much light of it, but Urban Liar was ahead of all of that. And in college football, guys, there's nothing a head coach does not know. College football head coaches are the most protected and bulletproof coaches in all of sports because it just makes so much damn money. There's so much money in college football. You got to protect. We're hearing about Les Miles at LSU. Hello? How long ago did he leave LSU? And we're hearing about students and females and at his apartment and inappropriate behavior, and it's like, and the school knew, and people complained, and girls came forward, like, and the school was like, shh. Yeah, but we win a lot of football games in Death Valley. Yeah, we play a lot of night games here. We play Alabama here this year on a Saturday night with Fowler and Herb Street calling the game. They're going to do College Game Day here. Kind of the most popular pregame show on all of sports television. I mean, TNT basketball, yeah, that's great. We love Shaq, we love Kenny, we love Charles, we love Ernie. And when Candace fills in and Wade fills in, but nothing is better than College Football Game Day. It's the best pregame show in sports. Has been for 20 years. They're coming down here Saturday. So, yeah, that little girl that went up to the apartment, how much? You think 10,000? Like 10,000, like 10 grand? I'm not making light of it. Hey, I'm shooting straight. I'm doing what I do. I shoot straight. College football coaches? Are you kidding me? College basketball coaches? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'm a Tar Heel. I love Roy Williams, but they did something with the grades, Roy. I'm damn gum don't know what's going on. I try to get these youngsters to focus and do what they're supposed to do. And yeah, all right, Roy, you still my dog. I love Roy Williams. My nephew's Kendall Marshall. He played in Carolina. They won the ACC in Carolina. He won the Bob Cousy Award in Carolina. He's coaching there with Carolina right now. Roy Williams loves my family. He loves my nephew. But they weren't changing the grades. It's just like the evidence came out. And the NCAA said, okay, slap on the wrist. Roy, come on now. Come on, brother. And we're going to do this. We're all in this together now. We know that guys got Michael Jordan showing up and misquoting the roof is the ceiling and the ceiling is the floor. I don't know if he was high, drunk, or whatever it was, but, Carolina blue and all. But we have that Duke game on Saturday night on national TV with Jay Billis. And come on, man. So there's nothing that Urban Liar, I said all that to bring it around back to Urban Liar. There's nothing he doesn't know there. So there's a lot of intrigue there. He brings in an insensitive, racist coach as his strength conditioning guy. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what he said. There's like 25 players that said it. Come on, bro. Like, you didn't think to hire his assistant coach at Ohio State. I'm just guilty of loving the guy so much. Yeah, he was beating. Come on, stop. Don't even see. Those are the things the networks be like, yeah, but it's the truth. I didn't cuss. I didn't call anybody a name. I didn't use a slur. Call him Urban Liar. He lies. But he has the Jaguars with the #1 overall pick. And I think people gloss over it because we're talking so much about these quarterbacks. They also have the number 25th pick. And that's intriguing to me because I think Jacksonville wants to get going. I think Jacksonville is one of those teams that have the #1 overall pick. They want to get going now. Urban's got 2 years to make this work, guys. I don't care what the contract is. He'll say his health is hurt. He'll say something. His heart hurt. His nuts hurt. Something's going to hurt on Urban Meyer. If this thing starts out ugly within the first year and a half to going into the end of the second season, he's going to want out. They're going to have the new coach, new coordinator, new system, and that could affect Trevor. And then we'll be, Trevor's a butt. Well, dude, he's got to learn a whole new goddamn system. He thought he had a coach, but they blew that draft. They had 2 first-round picks. Their second pick is at 25. I don't sit at 25. I don't sit at 25 at all. If I'm the Jags, I get aggressive. I try to move up. If they sit at 25, I like Najee Harris for them. You get your franchise quarterback in Trevor. You get your franchise running back in Najee Harris. Now, most people say, well, he won't last. We don't know. Remember, this isn't Todd Gurley and Zeke, Saquon. Those are the 3 running backs that have been taken really high. We've seen running backs fall out of the first round over the last 10 years. It has happened within the last decade. We have seen running backs fall out of the first round. So it's not out of the ordinary or out of the possibility of realm that Najee Harris could fall, or if they would jump up to 21 or 20 or somewhere in that area and grab Najee Harris, franchise quarterback, franchise running back. You can do some things with that. Urban Meyer can coach offense, guys. I'm not going to act like the guy can't coach. He just lies about everything. He's just full of shit. But the guy can coach. I'll give him his props. What props is due. He can coach. He's always got a great defensive guy, but he can coach offense. And you get a quarterback like Trevor, who's got a big arm, big body. He's going to be the face of the franchise. They may be able to grab a free agent or two in the next year or two position to help out there. It is Florida. It's Jacksonville. It's nice. It's cool. It's calm. You're not far beach in Miami when you want to go down there and do the mommy thing. In Miami with the Cubanos and do the mommy thing, you're not too far away. No state tax. Beautiful weather. Doesn't snow, doesn't sleet. It's not cold. They could turn this around, or it could go really south for them if they sit at 25 and they end up getting a bus. So you got Trevor out of the first round. What are you gonna do with your second and third round picks? You got a coach who's never done this on the NFL level before. It can spiral really fast, but I think you move up, you get Najee. I like that right there. So before I go any further, man, I want to bring in my homeboy, really good friend of mine, young guy. I don't want to say I'm mentoring him because he's really good at what he does. And he's helping the internet grow with sports talk. And he's created this group actually that I joined today. And these guys are awesome, man. It's outstanding. It's a bunch of new types of sports podcasts that I probably haven't listened to. And if it wasn't for this gentleman, I probably wouldn't have listened to him. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for him, put me in contact with these guys and put me on with these guys. So I want to bring him on right now. I know he's listening. I know he's watching. Whenever you're ready, you know who I'm talking to. Please go ahead and call in, man. We'll bring you right in and get you set up. And we'll talk about some of these teams and some of these other things that I have going with my little mock draft. It's not a mock draft. I just picked certain teams. I did go 1 through 7. And then I jumped to 11 and then 15 and then 25. And, but 1 through 7 to me really shakes up this first round. 1 through 7 for me really brings this first round, can make or break the next steps for your teams. I say the next 3 or 4 seasons for your team. Like, for instance, Cincinnati at 5. If I'm Cincinnati, Jags take Trevor. The bum-ass Jets decide to move on from Darnold, take a quarterback. Dolphins stay put, or they trade Panthers, Broncos, 8 or 9, so they can jump up to grab a quarterback. I think the Falcons. I know I've seen Trey Lance here. That's not happening. The Falcons are not drafting Trey Lance. They still have Julio. You still have Matt. As I mentioned, there is a guy, 2 guys, 3 guys. Howell, Carolina next year. DJ Uiagalelei. I love saying his name because I can pronounce it correctly because I called so many of his games. I watched pro TV analysts this past fall screw his name all up whenever it came to Clemson on television. I watch pros who get paid a lot of money screw his name. One of my homeboys, not going to mention him, but one of my good friends and a mentor of mine, he actually got it closest that I heard, and I text him right at commercial break because I'm watching it live, and I'm like, bro, and I voice text him. I said, bro, it's DJ Uiagalelei. And he texted me back. He said, man, I don't know how the hell you said that many times calling that kid's high school games. I said, trust me, the first 2 times I said it, one time the play-by-play guy looked at me, was like, what was that? I'm like, I don't know. I called him Umbrella Galalo. I didn't know. I was like, what the hell? Oh my God. And I listened to the PA guy in the stadium say, Uiagalelei with a pass to Chris Johnson out to the right side, 8 yards. I'm like, Uiang. Okay, that's what it's Uiang. And it doesn't look like that when you say it. So once again, there are quarterbacks that are going to be sitting coming out in the following years. Bryce Young's another one that will be coming here. I'm going to give you guys another one too. Watch JT Daniels' growth at Georgia. He played at Mater Dei out here, went to SC. SC used to be quarterback whisper, right? Even Matt Castle was a backup for 10, 12 years in the NFL and got a Carson Palmer was a top flight Pro Bowl quarterback at a SC, right? I mean, people thought Mark Sanchez. I never thought Mark Sanchez was that great, especially that he went to the bum-ass Jets. I laughed that day. When they moved up to 5 to take Mark Sanchez, I fell over laughing in my living room, just like they did with Sam Darnold. You know, Sam Darnold, you know what I'm going to blame the love affair for Sam Darnold and Sam Darnold being that high on? Colin Cowherd. Nobody jock rolls Sam Darnold, and it may be an LA thing, and he's out here with Fox Sports West, Fox Sports 1 in LA, and he's got it. I don't know. I like to think that he's a guy that kind of marches to his own drumbeat. You know, you got to toe the line. I know what company and sponsors, but I don't think you have to overhype a player. That if any network wants me to overhype a guy just because he's in the city that especially a college kid, no way. If I think it's good, I'll say it. But if you're asking me, let's lean more towards Darnold today when we're talking. What? That kid is average at best. But JT Daniels is at Georgia, was with SC, towards ACL. I was at the game that JT Daniels got hurt in and tore his leg and never played, never really got going back with SC again. My wife and I were at the game. So watch for a quarterback like him, right? It's like Zach Wilson at BYU. Nobody knew this kid a year and a half ago. Trey Lance up in North. Nobody knew that, but it happens quick. And he's a kid who's big arm. It's got the talent. It's got the pedigree. Things don't seem to work out with SC. Remember, Bryce Young was originally committed to SC. He took one visit to Alabama on a Saturday night, and he came back an Alabama commit Sunday morning. He flew out of LA on a Saturday morning. He flew back on a Sunday morning midday, got back at midday, and was an Alabama commit. So it happens that fast. But I want to bring my man in before I go any further, man. He does his sports talk way out in like Palm Springs where there's like 4 black dudes. I know they got like 2 black dogs out there, but I think there's not a lot of my people out there. And that's why I haven't probably made it out there. He also owes me a sandwich and a ginger ale because for some reason during football season, he thought he could like outpick me. And we proved really fast that wasn't the case. But good all-around guy, man, helping guys connect on Twitter through Sports Talk, man. My man, Mr. Sage Alvarez. And I like his first name because that's one of my favorite things to burn from meditation and just clearing bad air and bad spirits away is I burn sage, man. So that's actually a dope first name, player.
Hey, man, you know I bring good vibes.
Did I mention he is supremely confident, which I love, man. So you've been listening to the show, man, and you and I were actually talking on the phone before I even went live, and we had went through a bunch of scenarios and a bunch of teams. I'm going to give you the floor for a second. Let me just ask you this. My thought process on the Falcons at 4. Let's jump there. Falcons at 4. I like Sewell. I like that they say, okay, we can be in the quarterback hunt next year, in the year after. Matt Ryan still can throw for 4,500 yards. He can still throw for 34, 35 touchdowns. If Julio can stay on the field, Calvin Ridley, to me, Calvin Ridley's a 1, but he's not a 1 there because they still have Julio. So if we can somehow fix this damn defense that gave up gains like 8 times this year, when the offense scored, the offense put up 27, 28, 30, 31, 34 points and lost. It's not the offense. So I don't think quarterback right here, and I'm seeing a lot of quarterback in mock draft. I like Penei Sewell right here, bro. So when you do bring in that next quarterback, the one thing you won't hear, well, who's going to protect them? It's like, dude, remember, we took Sewell last year. We can go get a quarterback if Matt Ryan is done after this season. And am I on to something there in your opinion?
I'm in favor of that idea. So you got Matt Ryan, who I think he'd give you another good year. Like if you trade him right now, I don't know what you almost might have to give up a pick to get rid of him. Like who's he gonna go to right now? Washington? They're not gonna give you much. If anything, you have to. He's a large salary cap, so I definitely see the Falcons not going QB at number 4.
No, they won't go QB at number 4.
They should wait for next year.
Another team that's really interesting to me, Cincy, and the reason why is because I think Cleveland's going to be much better. I think Pittsburgh is going to surprise a lot of people and be in the dumpster this year. I really do. I think Big Ben's done. Numbers don't mean anything to me. Empty numbers mean nothing to me. I'm not that fan. I'll never be that fan, nor that analyst. I watch the games, and Big Ben's done. And you're talking about Devin Bush coming back from an ACL. They had I forget his name. The other linebacker season was ended with the other rush, and Dupree. Dupree's season was ended with an injury. So you got these two guys coming back off injury. Mika makes plays. Watt makes plays. I get it. But I think Cleveland's offense is going to be better. I think Baltimore's offense is going to be better. And if Joe Burrow comes back, I think you get Burrow a weapon at number 5. AJ's gone. And I was looking up the free agent list. Matter of fact, I got it up right now. I was shocked to actually see some of the names and then some of the ages. And then maybe it's just something that I didn't pay attention to. But AJ Green, 33 years old. And I know some people are like, yeah, AJ Green would be a great free agent pickup. AJ Green's also 33, though, bro. Like, you're getting him for a year or two. So I think at 5, if you're Cincy, you go get Burrow a weapon. You're straight at with Mixon at the running back. There's no problems there. Ross didn't work out. The speedster that was going to change and take the top off of defenses for years to come, and Cincy hasn't worked out. I like Kyle Pitts right here. And I know he's a hot name, but I think once he runs on his pro day and he bench presses and he vertical leaps at the combine, he is going to shoot up draft boards. And I'd put money Pitts is going in the top 8 or 9 picks, because if it's the Panthers at 9, at 8, or the Broncos at 9, could you imagine Pitts and Jerry Jeudy together, work the quarterback position out this year? Once again, Uiagalelei, Bryce Young, Howell, JT Daniels. There's 4 names I just gave you right there. And I didn't even mention the Oklahoma quarterback, right? I'm not even mentioning Florida's quarterback. There's 5 quarterbacks right there that you can have next year that would come in and automatically have weapons, instead of you getting the quarterback and then trying to find the weapons. What do you think about that pick right there? Cincy at number 5. They shock a lot of people, but not to guys that pay attention to the draft. And once free agency, I don't think anybody's going to Cincinnati in free agency at the receiver position, right? So they got to get somebody. I like Kyle Pitts right here. 6'4", 240. 6'6", 240, and just can split out, play in line, play the slot. This kid's a monster.
Straight monster. I like Kyle Pitts a lot. He looks like a game changer. Yeah, I definitely see him. I definitely see him going maybe top 7. I think someone might end up having to trade up together. Look at some of the teams. I think Let's see, it was a year.